Hi everyone, I'm FM Greeno and welcome along to episode 8 of the Greeno Tour. It is the first episode of the second season here with Stirling Albion. Been a really busy summer, so let's roll the titles and we'll take a look at what we've been up to. So, you'll remember, last season we were promoted out of Scottish League 2 and we begin this season in Scottish League 1. Today we have our first league game of the season against an old adversary from last season, Queen's Park, who were promoted through the playoffs alongside us. If we go and take a look at how things are set up in this league, you can see we have 10 teams, 1 team automatically promoted, 3 teams will go into the playoffs with 1 team from the league above, the Scottish Championship. 1 team will be relegated, and another, the 9th place team, will go into the playoffs with the league below. Season preview shows that we are considered to be 4th favourites at this stage. It's kind of interesting. Queen's Park, heavy favourites to go straight up again. So that's interesting. The 2 relegated teams from the Scottish Championship last season were Queen of the South and Arbroath. So they're fairly well backed to being with a chance of going back up again. And then it's us. And a bunch of teams then below us, who are teams that were in League 1 last season. Dumbarton and East Fife seem to be the ones they think are going to be the whipping boys. We do already have 1 player in the Media Dream 11. You'll remember Johnny Mitchell from last season did really well for us, and we tied him down to an extra 2-year contract, so he remains with us. We have done quite a lot of transfer business over the summer. So if we have a look at the history, in fact, some of it was at the end of last season. We brought in 3 players on free transfers. Sean Hoare, who's a right back, solid, not spectacular. He'll be okay for us. We also brought in another right back. Right back was a position we struggled with a bit last season. We played a 16-year-old for most of the season. We've brought in Nathan Gilhooly, who was at Alloa last season. Again, not brilliant, but with a Barnet like that, I mean, geez, he looks like Carlos Valderrama's been out in the rain, doesn't it? So he's going to come in and he's going to be competing for that right back spot. Ian McShane, not the one from Lovejoy, he has come in. He has done the rounds of Scottish lower league football, was out of the senior game last season, but he comes back in with us. A decent-ish midfield option, I think. He'll do okay for us. If we then take a look at the players we've brought in this season, another midfielder here, Kerr McInroy. I think this guy is going to be good. He was on the books of Celtic, a couple of games for Dunfermline last season. In all the sort of areas that fit where he wants to play, he's got some really good attributes for the level that we're at. There are obviously holes in his game, but I think he's going to be a great little player for us. We brought in Leo Furhelder again. You'll remember we had him on loan last season, the Celtic centre-half, only 17 years of age. Coming on leaps and bounds in terms of his attributes, so I think he'll be good for us this year. We couldn't get Occo Flex back in. Unfortunately, he wasn't interested. So we've brought in another player from Celtic. Left back is an area that we could have done with strengthening. And this young 17-year-old is going to be an absolute star for us, I think. Pace of 15, acceleration of 14, playing in that wing-back role that we like to play. I think he's going to be brilliant for us. Adam Wilson, we've brought in on a free transfer. He was on the books of Newcastle last season, was released on a free. Can play on either flank, at a push can play up top, so I think he's going to be a good option for us. Again, bags of pace and acceleration, so I think he'll do well. Leighton and Dukwu, who was on the books of Leicester City last season, again, can play either flank and again up top if necessary. Not quite so much pace and acceleration, but some decent all-round attributes, I think, for our level. Max Curry has come in, he's just a 3rd choice keeper. We do still have a month of the transfer window left and about £2,500 in wage budget. So you can expect to see more signings coming in. On the outs, Kylian Bozé, who was a backup striker for us last season, has moved back to France. We got a little bit of cash for him. And we've sent young Graham Watters, who you might remember played quite a few games for us as a 16-year-old last season. He's gone out on loan to Brora. Well, going into this first league game of the season against Queen's Park, we are going to stick with our 4-3-3 formation that served us pretty well last season. You can see a few of the new signings have made their way into the side. So we have Anderson, the left back on loan from Celtic. Hoare, the right back, comes in. McInroy in midfield and Wilson out on the right. The rest of them are pretty familiar faces, including Starman Ryan, who is still here. He's not very happy. He wanted me to improve the coaching over the summer, and I've not been able to find anyone who's much of an improvement on what we've got. I am in talks with a new assistant manager who hopefully will come in, and that might just perk them up a little bit. Before we get into the game itself, though, let's take a little look at what we've been up to in terms of matches played. It's not been great, that has to be said. So we had a very easy 8-0 win against Hillfield Swifts. We then put in a very creditable performance against a decent Leicester side, and we only lost 1-0. Of course, then we have the Betfred Cup, which kind of works like a pre-season tournament as far as I'm concerned. We lost to East Fife, lost to Montrose, beat Alloa, and narrowly lost to Hibs. Then we got beat by Ballymena in a friendly. So, I mean, it doesn't look great, but there's some pretty strong opposition in amongst this, so I'm not too worried at this stage. Anyway, let's go and see how we do against Queen's Park. So, I'm really interested to see how we're going to do this season. We predicted 4th, like we've already seen. I'd be happy to finish somewhere there or thereabouts. I think we've improved the team over the summer, certainly, and I think hanging on to some of our better players like Ryan, oh, he's just missed a good chance there, though. Hanging on to some of the players like that was a very good thing, and you know, we're building a good squad around those guys. Like I said, there's about a month left of the transfer window. There are still some areas I'm looking to strengthen, mainly in midfield. I wouldn't mind a bit more cover up front as well. So I'm keeping my eye out for a few players. We're still going to have a few trialists coming in the next weeks, and we'll see if we can use a little bit of that wage budget up that we've got left. There's a bit of cash in the bank if we need to even pay a transfer fee. So I think we'll be set pretty fair if we can get a couple more bodies in. We have a highlight here. Here's Anderson. McInroy picks up the ball. Langer out to Anderson, the new boy. A nice passing around between the boys here. Here comes Bikey. Is he going to have a pop himself? He is. Oh, straight into the arms of, is that Colin Firth in goal? The acting's not going so well, so he's turning out for Queen's Park these days. Let's clear that. There's Verhelder up to Bikey. Takes it in his stride. Beats his man. Andy Ryan, was he offside there? Apparently. Oh, he was. Very, very late flag there from the linesman. It looked like he was off at the start, but the way they let him go through and take the strike, I thought he might have just been on somehow or other, but unfortunately not. So I think we can be pretty happy with how things are going. Let's say we're not doing badly at all. Let's see if that makes any difference to anyone. Not a single player taking any notice of me whatsoever. But so far, Queen's Park haven't had a single effort on goal. So we've got to be pretty pleased with how things are going away from home against the team who are predicted to very comfortably win this league. Obviously, we finished above them in the league last season. Not a lot going on in this second half, though. What can we do to change that a little bit? We do have a couple of players who are getting a little tired. So let's have a look in the squad. Who can come off? Well, our starman Mitchell is not having the best game of his career. You know what? We are going to take him off. We're going to bring McShane on and see if he can do anything. He's nervous. That's not a great start. Sean Hoare is not having a great game at right back, so he can come out, and Nathan Gilhooly, the poor man's Valderrama, is going to come in. Let's give them a little bit of encouragement. Not listening at all. And we'll send them out. 20 minutes to go. Hopefully we can fashion a chance and put this game away. Doesn't look like it at the moment, though. So there's 10 minutes to go. So we are going to try a couple of little things, I think. Nothing in amongst there. I don't think we're probably going to push the mentality to positive. We're going to shout. We're going to demand more. I think that'll be it. I don't really want to change the shape too much. The personnel's probably right. Queen's Park have had a couple of efforts on goal now. Here's a highlight. Starts with De La Paz up to Bikey. Wins the header well. Jones tries to put the ball forward to Ryan, but it's a wayward pass. Kitongo out on the right here for Queen's Park. Can we get in and disrupt them? No, we can't. Muirhead nods it over. Bit of a theatrical dive from De La Paz there, but there was no real need for him to throw himself at that. We've won the ball here from their throw. Here comes McInroy. Is he going to play Ryan in? He is. Can he score? Yes, he can. Of course he can. That's his 4th goal of the season, taking the Betfred Cup games into account. He's starting as he means to go on once again. He scored a bucket load of goals last season, you'll remember. And that's a very nicely taken finish. Not sure why he took it with his left foot, but doesn't matter. Ball nestles in the back of the net. And so it looks like we're going to end this with a 1-0 win, which is a great start to the season. Oh, don't speak too soon, no. Don't speak too soon. Come on, ref, blow your whistle. Here comes Wilson. Is he going to play Ryan in? Oh, he tried to, but he had to check his run as he was going into an offside position. And are you going to blow your whistle now, ref? Come on. The ball's out to Bikey. Is he going to get it in the box? Run to the corner, man. What's wrong with you? Cleared, but Gilhooly knocks it back into Langer. We've already had a minute and a half over the allotted time. It's Ryan. Oh, there's his 5th of the season, 2nd of the game, and that really finishes them off. 2-0 Stirling in the 5th minute of 3 minutes added on. Very, very happy with that. Wilson with a good ball in there. Nice for him to get an assist on his league debut. And good to see Ryan with a brace. Hopefully we're going to see a lot more of them as the season goes on. And so there it is. It finishes up a 2-0 win for Stirling Albion. Well, after that really good win against Queen's Park, we're going to play through a few games now. I'm planning to come back for the East Fife game, unless anything pops up in between. There seems to be a 2-week break here. I'm not quite sure if there's a cup thing coming on or something like that. But I want to get through the transfer window, see what squad we end up with at the end of that, and then we'll come back for the first game after that, which looks like it's going to be East Fife. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It looked like it was going to play out to a 0-0 until a very, very late finish, didn't it? But great for Ryan to grab a couple, and it actually puts us top of the league after one game, so long may that continue. But if you have enjoyed it, please drop a like on there for me, and if you've got any comments about this episode or the series as a whole, I'd love to see them below. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. There's a lot more to go with this Greeno tour. This is our 2nd season with Stirling Albion, but who knows where we're going to end up. Of course, we've got the Mighty Magyars, my save with Hungary, running concurrent to this, and a bunch of stuff in the back catalogue if you want to take a look through that too. But it just remains for me to thank you for watching, and I will see you soon for some more action with Stirling Albion. Bye for now.